This week on Foods with Flavor, we're making an Italian sausage soup. So this week we're making an Italian sausage soup, and Italian sausage is kind of the base meat for it, but there's also noodles in it. So whenever you add noodles to a soup, and you'll see in this, there's not a lot of broth or sauce in with this. If you don't eat it all, expect the noodles to absorb the moisture. So if you reheat this and eat more later, you might have to add a little bit of stock to it. It'll be slightly different, but basically the same thing. But just expect those noodles to absorb some of the liquid and become, a little bit more mushy. So give me a second and I'll show you how it's done. So I have some hot olive oil in a pan, and I'm adding 4 hot Italian sausage links. And I'm going to cook those. I'm also chopping them up with a plastic spatula. Obviously, if you're going to do something abrasive like this, make sure if you have a nonstick pan, you're using plastic and not metal. And as it cooks, it chops up and becomes easier, the process. So it just takes time. Don't expect it to get done right away. So after it's cooked about halfway through, I'm adding some garlic and onions. And then I'm going to continue to mix that up, to incorporate it, to cook it, and to once again still chop that Italian sausage up. And so this is only part of the process. It's obviously it took a lot more to get to the point where I wanted it. So then I've added some frozen peas. Obviously, if you have fresh peas, that would be great. You can really add any vegetables you want to a soup. So I've used peas in this case. I'm also adding a can of petite diced tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes, great. It is hot and miserable here, and we don't have any. So I added some cannellini beans, and you'll see me add some more in a little bit. I actually ran out. So that's oregano and basil. And at this point, I was just kind of guessing of how much I wanted. So this is a hot sauce. I think, and you don't want something like a Tabasco or a Red Hot. You don't want that kind of acidic buffalo taste. You just want a real hot sauce. Then I'm adding some vegetable stock. You could use chicken stock as well. And then instead of adding salt, I'm adding a cheese, and this is a pecorino romano cheese. And so just a little. I will actually add some more in the end. So here's the rest of those cannellini beans. So once you've got everything in the soup, basically you're going to let that come to a simmer. So I tasted it. I'm adding a different hot sauce at this point. And this is something you just need to try. And I also added a little bit more oregano. So I'll kind of stir that in. And then I'm just going to let that simmer for a little bit. It doesn't need to simmer for a long time. Then I'm going to let it sit. So I'm adding black pepper here. I almost always add black pepper towards the end because it doesn't become as bitter. So a good quality noodle, any small noodle, it doesn't matter. Just beware that when you add noodles to a soup, if you put this in the refrigerator overnight, they will absorb the moisture. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on social media, and click on the link below to see a recommended video.